Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good wherever you are. This is number 3 on the Lord's Prayer with Simon McIntyre. We talked at the end of the last one, after we'd read out the Gospel of Luke's version of the Lord's Prayer, we talked a little bit about context. I'll just repeat those 3 thoughts. Context frames, defines and interprets for us. That's how it sets itself. So first of all, some thoughts of the context of Matthew, and then in one of the episodes we'll do some thoughts on the context of Luke. First of all, Matthew's referring to a teaching on prayer. And prayer was a taught practice. We tend to rely upon extemporaneous prayer. They were tended to be taught. And being taught to pray certainly wouldn't do us any harm. Jesus teaches his disciples to pray, but a little bit differently. Now look, the term Heavenly Father wasn't unknown. It was used by various people in the Judaic tradition. However, Abba Father, that was a whole nother ball game. And that assumed a personal and, I don't like this next word, but it's the only one appropriate, a more intimate connection. It just assumes those things. Abba Father. Some write it as Daddy, Daddy. I haven't quite got round to that. Father's good for me, but to some, Daddy, Daddy works. More power to you if it does. So prayer was generally seen as a regular practice. You'll see in the scriptures, in the book of Acts, at various occasions, in Matthew and the Psalms, and other occasions, you'll see that prayer was talked about as the time of prayer or at the time of prayer. And but the problem with that is it can always incline toward duty. So when Jesus refers to regularity, he's not actually talking, well, actually, maybe it's better said like this. Regularity isn't being questioned by Jesus. Motive is. If you do something regularly, but the motive of it is corrupt or there's no heart connection, then obviously the regularity is a problem, but not the prayer itself. Motive is the issue in this case. A time for prayer would not hurt us, as most people have a rhythm that works best for them. Some of you pray better in the morning, some in the afternoon, some in the evening, some pray better in the night. We need to find whatever rhythm works for us and make our prayer work for us there. And by the way, a discipline in prayer will never harm any of us. It actually holds us to account. Also, there's the assumption that there are different kinds of prayers. And obviously the disciples had heard various kinds of prayers and blessings, some for specific occasions. The great blessing from Numbers 6 is appropriate for some occasions, not so good for others. And so it's just a matter of discovering what works best where. And there still are those occasions where prayer works best in certain issues. Also, reciting a prayer is no guarantee of heart engagement, but neither is the opposite. Just because you recite doesn't mean your heart's not engaged. So it doesn't invalidate it. So those are some of our early thoughts of the context of Matthew.